The newest and cutest addition to the MCU is Cosmo the Space Dog, first seen in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. The character is being voiced by Maria Bakalova, who you'll remember from Borat 2. In 2 short years, she turned into a Hollywood movie star, and she wants you to fall in love with Cosmo in Guardians 3. So, in this video, we're taking a brief look at her fascinating career, starting with Cosmo. First up, Cosmo goes back to her Soviet roots. When she was 12, Maria joined acting classes to learn anything and everything about the art form. But she had no idea that 14 years later, she'd be one of the most promising newcomers in Hollywood. So imagine how she felt when she finally realized that she'd be playing an iconic Marvel character in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. In fact, working with James Gunn and the rest of the cast has been one of her favorite experiences ever since arriving in Hollywood back in 2020. More recently, she played a cameo as Cosmo in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. The character was one of the highlights of the Christmas short film, using its impressive telekinetic abilities to help Rocket rebuild Nowhere. Oh, and their chemistry was top-notch too. We're hoping there's more of that in the upcoming sequel. The adorable space dog is now part of the Guardians family. We want to know what James Gunn has in mind for the character. In an exclusive interview with Screen Rant, the actress teased a new detail about Cosmo that changes her in a tiny yet important way. In the comics, Cosmo's a male space dog based on Laika, one of the first animals to go to space and orbit the Earth. Cosmo, on the other hand, went to space and got lost. Eventually, he got hit by cosmic rays that gave him telepathy and telekinesis. So what's different about the MCU version? Well, instead of he, Cosmo's a she. Yes, it's such a small change that it's barely noticeable, but we think that bringing the character back to its Soviet roots seemed important to Gunn. So it's important to the character as it cements its place in the MCU. Next, what does Cosmo's future look like in the MCU? Cosmo is a wholesome and interesting addition to the franchise. Maria believes that she's going to end up being one of the most beloved characters in the universe. From what we've seen in the holiday special, the actress is absolutely right. Cosmo is a delight to watch, and even though she wasn't featured in a larger role in the special, you can clearly see how she'd fit into the rest of the team. And then there's Rocket's origin story. Guardians 3 will finally give us some insight into his childhood trauma and what he went through to become who he is today. Whenever anyone questions him about it, he quickly shuts them down. Maybe he told Groot about it before the first movie, but that version of Groot is long gone, and the new teenage version of him might not understand what Rocket's past was like. And that's where Cosmo comes in. She's a high-level telepath and can read minds easily. She's not on Professor X's level with that ability, but she's good enough to figure out what makes a person tick. So, seeing as Rocket and Cosmo are 2 of the few talking animals in the entire MCU, it would make sense that she's the one who bonds with Rocket on a level we haven't seen yet. Plus, Cosmo could be an experiment of the High Evolutionary. Instead of getting hit by cosmic rays, the High Evolutionary could have found her lost in space and considered her a lower life form and given her powerful abilities to make her perfect. Not to mention, Cosmo has gone toe-to-toe with Adam Warlock. Rocket will be totally jealous when he finds out that Cosmo has what it takes to take on Adam Warlock. Not only has she gone toe-to-toe with Adam in the comics, the seriously powerful space dog can give him a run for his money. We're excited to see how that pans out once the movie is released. But we're even more excited to see her relationship with Rocket evolve. There's a reason why there are shots in the trailer showing Rocket's childhood. It could possibly be Cosmo reading his mind and getting to know him on a deeper level. And then there's the big and bad of Volume 3, the High Evolutionary. The dude gives off some serious mad scientist vibes and continuously experiments on helpless animals who have nowhere to go. So both Rocket and Cosmo could find themselves in trouble here, with their pasts being revealed to the entire team against their wishes. is. Gunn promised audiences an emotional end to the Guardians trilogy, and we think a huge part of why we'll be crying our eyes out is Rocket and Cosmo. Besides, having a good girl like Cosmo on the team will help them win their final battle. Most of them rely on their physical abilities to take an enemy down, but Cosmo can create powerful defensive shields and devastating attacks just with her mind. So we're just gonna confirm what Maria said. Cosmo's gonna be everyone's favorite new MCU character and probably one of their most favorite characters ever. Moving on, let's talk about Maria Bakalova's phenomenal rise to stardom. You'd think that someone like Maria has been in Hollywood for a while now, but it's only been 2 years since she starred in Borat 2. She's been a theater kid since she was 12, but her rise to fame began in 2017 when she starred in a Bulgarian comedy film called 12A. It wasn't really memorable in any way, with Maria playing a supporting role, but in the same year, she also starred in the coming-of-age drama Transgression. It's a gorgeous movie, written and directed by Val Todorov, and interestingly, he based it on his own 2016 novel called Daddy Dear. That name alone can tell you a little about the movie. It's about this 18-year-old girl who's in a relationship with a faded rock musician who's almost twice her age. It's a tricky topic that a lot of people could get wrong, but Todorov wrote a remarkably deep movie. In fact, Maria's performance in it was so good that she won the Best Actress Award at the Toronto Alternative Film Festival. But this was just the beginning of the actress's meteoric rise to fame. After Transgression, she starred in 2 other Bulgarian drama films called The Father and Last Call before setting her sights for Hollywood. Let's talk about her first audition for Borat 2. Bulgarian actors are few and far between in Hollywood. Other than Nina Dobrev, there aren't a lot of world-famous Bulgarian celebrities. So naturally, Maria felt that it was too unrealistic to aim that high. But then came the open online auditions for the role of Tutar Sagdiev. About 600 actresses, including Maria, auditioned for the role. And the funny thing is, no one knew which movie they were auditioning for. The producers wanted to keep the whole project hush-hush, so the name wasn't disclosed. And that freaked Maria out. So get this, she thought that it was a huge scam designed to traffic women. She called her manager to figure out what was going on. She didn't think it was possible for anyone outside Bulgaria to know her, but he promised her that it wasn't an elaborate trick to traffic women and that no one would kidnap her and harvest her organs on the black market. That sounds funny now because the movie's out and she's rich and famous, but imagine if you get a random email from some casting director in America. You don't know who they are or what the project is, but here's a giant NDA for you. We wouldn't have taken the risk if it were us, but she's obviously much braver than we are. Her decision to send in the video audition paid off. Next up, 2022 was just the beginning for Maria. Now, even though Borat 2 was her Hollywood debut, her performance earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, and she deserved it. After that, she starred in another Bulgarian drama film called Women Do Cry, where she played 19-year-old Sonia. Sonia learns that she's positive for HIV, and over the course of the movie, the women in her family come together to support her. It premiered at 2021's Cannes Film Festival, and just like Borat 2, critics loved Maria's performance. It's one of those hidden gems in an actor's early career that you should definitely check out. But Maria plowed on, getting 3 huge projects in 2022. The first was a black comedy horror called Bodies, 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 in which she starred alongside Amanda Stenberg and Pete Davidson. The movie itself was pretty awesome, but then again, most of A24's horror movies are top-notch. As for Maria's performance, Johnny Oleksinski from the New York Post said that she was relatable as a character, but held a hint of darkness inside her. That's how we describe her too. But then there were others who thought that her comedic talents were underused in the movie. But we don't agree with that. She was still awesome. After that, it was Judd Apatow's The Bubble, and it was okay. We didn't love it, even though we like most of Apatow's projects. But This one didn't impress us as much. Plus, the cast was filled with talent, including Pedro Pascal, Karen Gillan, and David Duchovny. Still, just like Bodies, her talent was kinda underused. Finally, she's added producing to her resume. Maria's final project for 2022 is The Honeymoon, and from the trailers, it looks pretty promising. It's a romantic comedy starring Maria, Asim Chowdhury, and Pico Alexander. But it gets even better when you realize that the actress is producing the movie too. At the age of 26, Maria Bakalova is an international star with a producer credit to her name. We're a little jealous. In her interview with Collider, she revealed that she loves every single aspect of filmmaking. So getting to produce a movie while making it a safe and open environment for women in the industry, that is the cherry on top. Even though she's new to this, she's confident she can make a difference in the industry. In fact, we might even see the young actress get behind the camera one day and direct a movie. She's excited about the idea herself, and we're sure she'll give us a movie worth watching one day. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for watching. So, have you checked out Maria's other movies? What did you think of her performances? Tell us down below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos in the future. We'll see you in the next one.